today, season 2, episode 5. So excited. Just love doing these podcasts. They're just fun. It's my venting moment, so I don't stand in front of the TV and yell at the news. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really, truly do. But welcome back. I'm Joe. I'm your host, your unofficial life coach today, and an expert in handing out advice I barely follow myself. I try to follow this advice, and I try not to give out too much advice. But here's the thing. Let's talk about something kind of fun today, something a little closer to the heart. It's called the Unwritten Life Rules. So let's talk about these unwritten rules of life. Those simple little things we should do, but sometimes we forget. Like maybe using your blinker, or not taking the last donut, unless you were the one that brought the donuts. But when there's one cookie left on the table, I remember, now probably over 40 years ago, a man had told me. I was just getting ready to, my son was not born yet, and this man was telling me about being a father, and he said, being a father means that when you're finished having dinner and you have some cookies on the table, and there's one cookie left, you give it to your child. You don't take it for yourself. And I thought, wow, isn't that crazy? That silly little thing that he said to me all those years ago, I still remember it today. But and I try to live by that. Don't be greedy. Don't take advantage. If there's one cookie left, give it to the child. It's okay. Anyway, but there's some rules out there that nobody really ever wrote down. They're just unwritten, and I think they're, like I said, they're things that we should do. So these are little rules that really shape how we treat each other and how we show up in the world. And honestly, it's how we feel about ourselves. And so let's ask some questions. Is it our responsibility to be kind? I don't know. Does saying have a nice day come across as genuine, or is that sarcastic? Depends, I guess, on the situation. And if somebody does me wrong, should I go full John Wick on them? Or just let it go? Let it go. Just let it go. Trust me. All right, let's jump in. All right, so the big 7. This is research I did. Of course, I always try to do research. I always say fact check it. Fact check me. Make sure I'm telling you good stuff. Here we go. So I had to do it. I had to do some research. Here it is. I don't want to rant without sources. So the 7 rules of life. And, they share some pretty universal themes. 1, and this is really important, make peace with your past. Your history should teach you, not haunt you. I wrote a book. It's called The Cop in Me, and it's a story of my life and what I went through as a child. And now when I sign books for people, I try to write in there, don't let your past define your future. So same goes. You have to make peace with your past. We've all had things happen in our past that were positive, negative, or just things that happened, and we have to learn from them. Don't dwell on them and move on. I mean, it's really important to try to make peace with your past. And never, you guys, please, don't ever compare yourselves to others, right? Comparison, that is the thief of joy. And sometimes the thief of your entire afternoon, especially if you're sitting there looking through Instagram or Facebook and you see people posting all of this stuff and you're like, wow, I wish I had a new car. Wow, I wish I could go on a cool vacation. Wow, I wish I had. No, stop. Don't compare yourselves to others, okay? First of all, half of that crap or more is not even real anyway. It's just garbage that people put out there, say, look at me, look at me. It's narcissistic. Stay away from it. Don't compare yourself to others. You live your life. If I compared myself to others all the time, oh my gosh. I mean, I would compare myself to guys that had hair. I wish I had hair again. Guys that are over 6 foot tall. Yeah, I'm 5'9" on a good day. You know what I mean? Don't do it. And let me tell you, I've heard people say, oh, I just want to make you happy. Boyfriends say this to girlfriends, husbands say this to wives. I just want to make you happy. That's not your job. That is not your responsibility. Happiness is their responsibility. Or in this case, happiness is your responsibility to make yourself happy. No pressure, right? No pressure. Make yourself happy. When you're happy, you can make others happy. All right. And then let it go. No, really, I mean this. Let it go. Again, don't let your past define your future. There's things that you just have to just let it go. Something that somebody said, something that someone did, even no matter how egregious or hurtful, sometimes you just got to let it go, you guys. All right. And give things time. There's a saying out there that, time heals all wounds. And I was straightened out by a friend of mine who has a psychology degree. And she said, time doesn't always heal all the wounds. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. But give things time, because time does help us better understand and accept almost everything, except expired milk that we can't fix. Okay. And stop overthinking. Yes, this includes the thing you're currently overthinking about while you're listening to this podcast, right? Stop overthinking things. And for goodness sakes, you guys, smile. Just smile. It's free. It didn't cost you a penny. It's contagious. Makes you look 10% more approachable, I found. And, if it makes you 10% more approachable, if you're a single guy or a single girl, smile could help. Just saying. All right. And then, these are the big life zoomed out rules. But let's take a closer look at the everyday rules, like the ones that you and I can put into practice today without rearranging our entire lives. Okay? So I'm going to call this segment 2 of Dad's Lessons. And I'm going to call it Lemonade Stands and Respect. So these are things that I try to remind my own children of, and I try to remind myself of. But there are some rules, and I do stand by this rule. And my rule number 1 is you always stop at a lemonade stand. When I was a police officer, oh my gosh, you're driving down these neighborhood streets and you see a couple kids out there selling lemonade, and you pull up in your police car, get out, buy a lemonade, $1 a glass, but you leave them a $5 bill. Oh my gosh, what an impact it leaves on these kids. You might just be inspiring the next entrepreneur, right? At minimum, you're going to make their day, and it will stick with you. And I don't care who you are, and I do that today. My wife and I were driving down the street just about a month ago or so in Mesa, and sure enough, there's a couple kids having a lemonade stand, and we went past it because I didn't notice it until we passed them. We actually turned around, went back, and bought lemonade from these kids. And they were just so happy, So do that. Never pass a lemonade stand. You always got to stop. My wife and I did this just yesterday. Pull over and show respect for a funeral procession. And this just happened yesterday. And I just said, gosh, people just aren't respectful anymore. And as I was saying that, my wife was pulling over and stopped. She was driving. She stopped and she put her hand over her heart. I took off my hat and held it over my heart. And I just, the family notices. People as they're driving by in those funeral processions, they notice and they remember that. And that is a sign of respect. And it just means a lot to people. And it's respectful. Maybe one day somebody will do that for my funeral. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. 3, look, tip big when someone goes above and beyond. It's okay. I'm a 20% guy by default, right? But if someone absolutely crushes it, throw a few extra bucks their way. Why not? It'll really make their day or make their night. you know, I don't know. Who knows what's going on in people's lives, and you throw an extra $5 or $10 down on a tip, it could really make a difference for somebody. I know it sounds menial, but it can make a difference. And it reminds them that they have value. And I think that's really important. And my freebie is smile and say good morning or good afternoon or good evening or buenos dias or buenas noches. It's very important. It takes 1 second, all right, maybe 2. It costs nothing, and it makes you feel better. And almost every time that I have said good morning, good afternoon, or, buenos noches to someone either in Puerto Rico or in the mainland, it doesn't matter. They always respond back. And always respond back with a positive response. I love that. So, yeah. Here's one. I was a police officer, so, here's the thing. Wave at the police. I know, not all 5 fingers. Wave with all 5 fingers, please, to the police officers. Police officers, firefighters, military, ignore the naysayers. Remember that these people run to what the rest of us run from. Even if you spent all morning complaining on Facebook about the police and defunding the police or the terrible military or whatever it is that you're complaining about, remember that those people will risk their lives to save yours. So just wave. Give them a friendly wave, okay? It doesn't cost anything, and it really makes people feel good. Believe me, I was a police officer. If somebody waved at me or said, hey, officer, have a nice day, oh my gosh, really, really changes everything. And then a number 6 rule, quiet generosity matters. And this is something I try to do. I don't always. I'm not perfect at it. I try. I usually will try to go to a Walmart or a similar type store around Christmas time. So right about, after Black Friday, but well before Christmas. And just walk in and say, hey, do you have a couple of layaways that are maybe around $50 to pay off? And if they do, then I'll spend $100 and pay off a couple of layaways. Or maybe I'll spend a little more if we have a little extra money. No names, no nothing, but just imagine what it must feel like, right? When these folks, they've already got stuff on layaway, so cash might be a little tight. I know things are tight now. And somebody walks in and they go to make a $10 payment on their layaway and they say, it's already paid off. You can pick yours up. Wow, right? I just hope that it brings a smile to someone's face. All right, but that's nothing. I'm not special, right? A lot of people do that. I know that. Okay, so anyway, those are just some nice things that I try to do. I try to pass on to my children, like do these things, right? And they do. I know they do. And it just feels good. Okay, all right. I digress. Let's, what's out there like everyday acts that can make life a little better. So let's rapid fire some everyday kindness that keeps society from falling apart, because it's true. It's the little things, you guys. Hold the door open. I love that. Now, in my house, I open the doors for my wife. Not 100%, but in the 90 percentiles. I open her car door for her. I open doors for her. I always let her go in first, and I follow her in. When I'm at the gym and I'm leaving the gym, if there's somebody coming in or somebody following me, I'll hold the door open for them. It's so funny that people will be like, oh, thank you so much. Like it was so, it took so much effort for us to hold the door open for someone else. But people are appreciative. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then I noticed that they'll hold the door for the next person. So it just kind of flows. It's kind of cool. Try it. Hold the door open for someone. It's really important, especially somebody that could use the door being held for them. There's there was a phase back, I think it was in the 90s or the early 2000s, where everybody was doing this pay it forward thing or pay it backwards. And they would go to the drive-through at a drive-through McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever, and they'd say, "I'd like to pay for mine, and I'd like to pay for the car behind me." And just can you imagine? You pull up and they're like, "Here's your order. It's already been paid for." Wow, what a great thing! It doesn't cost that much, $5, $10. I know it can be a lot of money, but if you can afford it and you can do it, wow, you're gonna, you don't know what kind of day that person was having. You might change everything in their day, and that's awesome. Compliment a stranger. I mean, it's okay. If you see somebody do something nice, tell them thank you. I've seen people walk out of their way to grab a shopping cart that was in a parking spot where I'm getting ready to pull in, and they move the cart and put it in a cart stall, and they didn't have to do that. There was no reason for them to do that. I could go look for another spot, but thank them for that. Compliment them on what they did. It's really cool. Here's one. We live in Puerto Rico part of the time, and we go to the beach a lot, and we pick up litter. And there are people there at the beach that they walk around picking up litter, and it's contagious. It's really weird. Other people start picking up litter too, and I love it, right? So I guess what aggravates me is the person that just decides it's okay to just throw your beer can on the beach, or your cigarette butts, or your candy wrappers, which we see a lot of. It's really, really, really irritating, but there are those good people out there that pick it up. Here's one. How about offering your seat to someone who needs it? I see this. I've traveled a lot, getting on planes and getting on buses and trains and different things. People can be really rude. I've been at the airport. They say the friendliest airport is Sky Harbor in Phoenix, which is a place where we live. And I have gotten on the tram to go from the parking area into the terminals, and you see people struggling to hold on or stand up, older folks, or maybe someone that has a lot of baggage, or they're holding a child, right? And people won't get up and let them sit. They just let them struggle. It's terrible. Just offer your seat. Even if they don't take it, you offered it, and you know what you did, and everybody around you goes, wow, aren't I a jerk? I didn't offer a seat. And then, I've already brought it up, right? Just smile. Smile and say hello. Even if you're having a rough day, it'll help you not have as rough of a day. Like, I found this not only in the research, but just in life, right? It just goes so far. Just a smile and I don't know. It's these little things that shift the tone of an entire community, right? They're the unpaid, unappreciated social glue, and that is little random acts of kindness, little things like this that hold us all together. And I think it's so cool and it's so important. And, spend some time on it. Think about it. I challenge you, go out today and say hello to a stranger. Say hello. Like I said, I'm in Puerto Rico some of the time, and in Puerto Rico it's very, very common when you're having a meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it doesn't matter, when you're having a meal, and people will walk by and say, buen provecho. In other words, enjoy your meal. It's just so kind, and they smile when they say it, and it makes you feel good. It's so nice. Okay, so now those thoughtful gestures that can go a long, long way. If you want to take kindness up a notch, you want to raise the bar, try this. How about this? Leave a note, a kind note for a delivery driver, for your spouse, for your child. Do you remember what it's like getting notes? I know we send texts now. It's so impersonal. But a note, you have to take a pen, you have to take the paper, and you have to put your thought down that way. and it means so much more. So leave a note. I think that's great. It's an awesome idea. Again, these are things that were recommended through some of my research, and they're things that we should do anyway. And listen, send a real thank you note to someone that you want to thank. Did you do a job interview and you got hired? Send everybody on your board that was on your oral board or your interview board, or anybody that was involved, send them a real thank you note. Not a text, a note. It means so much to people. People really appreciate it. And it helps you stand out a little bit more too. This is a good one. I see this especially in Puerto Rico a lot. People, needing help with groceries. Help somebody. If you see a person with a bunch of groceries and they're trying to open their car and they're trying to get in, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to walk right up to them, stand at a distance and say, can I help you in any way? Is there anything I can do to help you? And if they want your help, help them. If they don't want your help, that's okay. It doesn't hurt to ask, but it's a nice thing to do. Actually, yesterday I saw a young lady trying to get out of a wheelchair into her car. She had a cast on her foot, and I didn't get close. But as I was walking by, I said, "Do you need help? I can help you if you need help to get in your car." And she was like, "No, thank you so much. I just got this cast on yesterday, and so I'm just getting used to it. But I've got it. Thank you." Okay, that's great. Guess what? She had a great day because of that, probably. I know I did. Okay, here's one. Leave some change in the vending machine, right? You put $1 in, there's 20 cents drops out. Just leave it there. Let the next person pick up that change, or maybe a kid walks by and finds it. How fun is that, right? It's 20 cents. What are you going to do with 2 dimes in your pocket anyway? Okay. Make a care package for someone. Someone's getting ready to go on a little trip or something, throw together a little care package. One thing that my wife does when we have guests, she puts a basket out and puts it on the bed, on the guest room bed. And in that basket, she will have maybe, I'm trying to think, like a toothbrush, a little tubes, a little toothbrush, toothpaste. She buys these hand, I don't know, you wash yourself with them, right? It's like a little glove. Not a loofah, but like a little glove. And she'll put a little thing of mouthwash, some dental floss, just things like that. Just all the things that when you get somewhere when you're traveling, you might go, "Oh, I forgot this," or "Oh," and there it is. She's got it in there, and wow, our guests are usually very thankful. And if we have guests in Puerto Rico, she usually puts a little keychain or something from Puerto Rico in there for them. Okay, here's the other thing. Put your phone down and actually listen. Like, put your phone down and make eye contact with someone. Now, this is one I always pick on my wife. It happened this morning at breakfast. We sat down, we're ready to eat our breakfast, and she's scrolling her phone. Now, I know she's working. I know that she has contacts that are reaching out to her and so on and so forth. But I said, can we just be present just right now, just present for breakfast? And of course she caught on, no problem, phone down, and we have breakfast, because nothing is so important that it can't wait for another 5 or 10 minutes, right? So put your phone down, actually listen. And volunteer. It's really important. Volunteer and help people out. Don't do it for credit. Don't do it because you want a pat on your back. Just do it for the connection. Do it for the value of helping others. Here's another one. Donate books, food, anything. If you've got all this extra stuff, for me it's clothes. I don't buy expensive clothes. I buy inexpensive or moderately priced clothes. I wear them for 6 months or less, rotating through, obviously. And then I donate them to clothing centers that need clothes. And then I go get new clothes, and it's kind of fun, and it's not that expensive. Now, bring treats out to a retirement home, right? But maybe call first, right? Because you don't want, you don't want to upset people, and you want to hand somebody that has diabetes a bunch of sugar cookies. So, but not just a retirement home. Just go in and talk to people. Stop at a retirement home, walk in and just sit down and have a conversation with a couple of those folks. Imagine if you were in your 80s and somebody just showed up out of the blue and just to talk to you, make you feel really good. And then offer someone a ride if they need it. It's okay. I'm not talking about hitchhikers, but we have friends that are like, oh, I got to get to the airport, next week. I'll just get an Uber. And we'll be like, no, you know what? We can take you. It's 45 minutes out of our day. We'll go run you to the airport. Wow. Feels so good. Makes people feel really good. I hate going to the airport, by the way. Oh, I hate doing it. Anyway, but it doesn't have to be a big thing. Just be kind. Just be kind and notice others. All right. So that took me from like just basic stuff, dad stuff. Let's talk about this little thing called grandpa wisdom. And grandpa wisdom is really interesting. I just did a little research, and this is kind of what it kicked out at me. Grandpas are the philosophers of the family, the OGs of kindness. They're like the human version of a warm flannel blanket. That's what I was given back from Google. But here's what grandfathers tend to preach. Treat everyone with respect. Everyone is fighting a hard battle. Everybody. So treat people with respect. And remember that the small acts matter more than the big ones. Sometimes the little things mean more. And how you treat people reflects your character, not theirs. If you're crappy to the waiter, then you're probably crappy to other people too. So it's a reflection of you, not them. And the only thing people truly remember is how you make them feel. Remember that. Be a giver, no strings attached, and show patience. Let the small stuff go. And I've said this before, right? Sometimes you got to just let it go. Be kind, be kind, be kind. But that's what grandpas say. And honestly, I think they're right. And I am a grandpa. Not that I would say that. Now, what about our strangers, the people that we don't know, right? How about, do you know who your neighbors are? Do you know? You should. You should know who your neighbors are. Here in Puerto Rico, we have neighbors. We know who all of our neighbors are. Some of them only speak Spanish. I don't speak very good Spanish at all. But the beauty is we communicate and we're all friendly and we all take care of each other. And I try to do the same in our Mesa house. But it's more difficult, it seems, on the mainland than when we're in Puerto Rico. Just people are more willing to talk to each other here and less willing to talk to each other, it seems like, on the mainland. Crazy. So actually, could be shocking to you, but talking to strangers, it's good for you. It really is. I know it sounds the opposite of what you were taught as kids, but research actually shows that conversations with strangers can boost your mood, increase your confidence, reduce loneliness, give you new perspectives, help you break down prejudice, right? Strengthen your sense of community, and make the world feel just a little less chaotic. Even just a little brief interactions, maybe talking to your barista or saying hello to a guy who walks his dog the same time every morning, walks right past you. Just say hello to him. Get that little dopamine bump. It's kind of cool. You'll enjoy it. And if you really want to level up, try listening more than you talk. And that's a problem that I have. I'm not the best listener sometimes. I talk too much sometimes. Little diarrhea of the mouth. So you'll learn more, and you might just make a new friend if you just listen. Okay. All right. And then I asked, do you know your neighbors? And I mentioned the mainland, and I mentioned Puerto Rico. But here's the thing. I actually did some research on this, and the research through surveys, this is what it shows. 75% of Americans know their neighbors only in passing. 62% know some of their neighbors. 12% say they don't know any of their neighbors. And the older adults know more neighbors than the younger adults. That doesn't surprise me. Rural folks tend to connect more than city dwellers. All right. So this is the information that I find. So why? Why? Well, because technology keeps us inside, right? Schedules are packed. Communities are designed with back patios, not front porches. In the old days, people sat out on the front porch, talked to everybody. Not anymore. And here's the thing. Neighbors are often the first people you rely on in an emergency, so why wouldn't you get to know them, right? Our neighbors right now have this whole group chat thing going on, which I actually had to mute it because it just keeps going off. But they're talking. All the neighbors are talking, and everybody knows everybody. So awesome. All right. But you see these people every day. They're part of your ecosystem, right? So even if you don't know somebody, go knock on the door, start a conversation. It's going to mean the world. Hey, if it goes sideways and they don't want to have a conversation, it's okay. No harm, no foul, right? No problem. But break the silence and maybe get that little small town vibe going again, right? I think we miss it, some of us. I don't know. All right, let's bring this all together now into one big ball of these unwritten life rules. They're simple, powerful, and totally free. You guys, totally free way to make your life and someone else's life a little better. So these rules, they're not complicated. They don't require a law degree or a master's degree. Just require a little heart, a little compassion, maybe a little courage. A little courage to be the first one, but that's okay. Even if you try just a few of these things, I promise you, you'll think clearly, you'll feel better, you'll feel lighter, you'll possibly gain a new friend, definitely see the world just a little bit differently. Getting to know others and other cultures and other people and other ideas is so important. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Okay, I always say this, stay curious. Curiosity is the doorway to connection, right? Kindness and understanding. By being curious, you can get these things. And these unwritten rules, they're just building blocks. And yes, like I said, fact check everything, even fact check me. But I'll tell you this with 100% certainty. If you stop at a lemonade stand today and you buy a cup, that child will remember you and you'll feel something priceless, right? My friends, be well, be kind, and guess what? I'll see you next time on Joe's Hot Takes 25. Bye now.